Alrighty, boys and girls. Good morning. Good morning. I'm late, I know. Oh, my headset was offline. You made me check. I had to check whether there was tunes playing in the background. How are we doing, boys and girls? Right, let's get this on the road. It's gathering day today. It's officially gathering day today. I was meant to do this all day yesterday and then completely forgot, so... 1 week off starts today. Finally watch the stream uninterrupted. Raise coffee mugs. Appreciate that. Have fun. Let's fix a few things. We are going to need to fix this nighttime situation. We're going to need to head over to Dornogal. We are going to need to pick up some professions. Ooh, not so close now. Not so close now. Let's go grab some professions and let's get going. I want to try and get herbalism, mining, both level today. Yes, I'm not on a druid. There is clearly going to be optimizations to play on a druid, but truth be told, don't particularly like druids. Whilst min-max, best in slot, cookie cutter, gatherer is always going to be a druid. Not today. I need some stinky potions to begin with. Actually, did I put any in my war bank? It's still called the war bank, by the way, not the war band bank. A dumb name. I didn't, did I? Do we have any cheeky? No, not even any. Okay, right. Quick reverse. Oh god, dudes. Yeah, I deliberately made this character on a new realm as well. I made this character on the Turnips Delight realm, just because I don't know, it's low pop. Thought it might help with finding nodes. Not that it's going to make much difference on the test servers. Right, potions. It's gonna get some getting used to that the realm button has moved. I know. I still can't kind of figure out where to put the mouse on that screen. Oh, convenient. We're like literally here.
Supply of goods for outlanders.
Take 10 of those. Keep 10. We'll put 70 in the bank. Deposit all warbound items. I would like a deposit all reagents button. Don't know about deposit all warbound items. What else we got in here? I'll do, I guess. Are any of these greens going to be... These are like random level 80. These are the level 70 ones that I have a suspicion are broken. Level 70 piece of plate. Level 70 leather shoulders. 80. 80. 70 leather again. Why do I keep getting 70 leather? 8. Hang on, what is my dog eating? 80, 80. Okay, that's all level 80. I have a suspicion, you know, that my warband bank is just going to end up being material vault. I can't truly think of any other reason why this won't just end up being a reagent vault. Maybe a few bits and pieces here and there, but definitely a reagent vault. Need a warband reagent tab. Well, they all are technically. Well, add-ons will fix that though. No doubt add-ons will fix that. Yep, so what are you eating? Ripping the toy apart? Doings? quite dark in here, isn't it? The sun was out when I took the dogs for a walk a minute ago. Stolen the sun. That doesn't really help, but... Reagents and items to sell on other realms. Yes, that's true, actually. If you're doing any cross-realm arbitrage sort of stuff, there's a good chance you'll use the war bank.
My directive is to
Warband
serve
bank, sorry. I'm forever going to call it the war bank, because that's what it is. The warband bank sounds stupid. Account-wide bank? Whatever. Bank. Let's take 10 of these out.
My thanks for your patience.
Do I need anything else, really, other than to turn daytime into nighttime? Or vice versa, sorry. I started using the TSM Banker UI. Once I get it all figured out, it's going to help a lot in the warband bank situation. Yes, I agree. The only thing is I know I'm going to get super anal about the slots of, like, where things go. Like, for example, when you've got 5 tabs, I know I'm going to have 1 tab for materials, another tab for this, another tab for this, another tab for this. The chances are that any add-on is just going to throw shit in there. It's not going to do it in any neat and tidy organisation, which will, no doubt drive me insane. What are you going to do? Right, where's the herbalism and mining trainers? I think they're around here somewhere. For you. Where's herbalism and mining? Jewel crafting. I think mining's down here, isn't it? With all of the green gems. Mining trainer? Mining trainer. One of you, please. Kazalgar mining, let's go. Mining supplies. I guess we don't really technically need anything, do we? Put a mining pick on, I suppose. There's no harm. Why not? Why not? Erosion polished slate. Appendix. Boundless knowledge. Sometimes a rock is just a rock. Other times it's a very aesthetically pleasing rock, worth studying. Come as no surprise that there are plenty of rocks to be found on and underneath Kazalgar, but some amongst them might offer some insight to improve one's mining techniques. You may discover 6 more samples this week. So, true to fashion, it's kind of copy-paste. Roger that. Very common metal found across Kazalgar, despite being mundane, is often desired in high quantities by skilled craftsmen due to its versatile properties. The irony is I haven't found many professions that care that much about bismuth. I don't know where the sink for bismuth is going to be, honestly. Jewel crafters don't have much desire to prospect with it. I'm hoping blacksmiths use it in abundance to make ingots. Engineers have the opportunity to chunk through bismuth like an absolute machine if they are shuffling it for scrap. But that might be only a temporary solution. I have no clue where all of the bismuth is going to go, honestly. Do you know if Dragonflight profession equipment carries over? The secondary stats appear to. So the multi-craft, the resourcefulness, that sort of stuff on them appears to right now. But the skill is expansion specific. Now, the reason we care about the tools so much, especially in the early days, is because of the plus skill. So some of it, but not all of it, is what we're led to believe so far. I've not thoroughly tested this. I've not copied characters over. Leveling professions on the leveling realms is frustratingly difficult because you have to do it all yourself, because the auction house is not going to be able to help you, and I'm not spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours gathering just so I can level the professions on the leveling realms. We might simulate like a week 1 experience on a couple of professions just to see how it like actually feels out in the wild at some point, but that's pretty low on my priority list, honestly. I can simulate that more effectively on the like profession servers anyway. Right, there's mining. Where's herbalism? Where's herbalism? Let me think. Is it going to be near the alchemy thing? I tell you what, I really cannot get my head around this zone. I still can't figure out where anything and everything is. It's not as straightforwardly obvious as Valdrakken. That makes sense. I'm not saying Valdrakken's a better city, but I still just haven't found my bearings properly here. Where the flippin' hell is herbalism? In one of these side buildings. Maybe just ask somebody. Ask a guard. What have you done with herbalism? Fashion trainer, herbalism. You.
We will continue speaking later.
Oh, you're all the way over here. Oh, you're in this building. Herbalism, there we go. Right, let's get these journals down here. Gonna need some overloading ability business at some point, I imagine, as well. What's the herbalism one got to say? Is it practically the same? 120 difficulty for picking up mycobloom. 100 from here, 40 from here is still feasible. So it's seemingly possible to still pick up mycobloom at max quality. Or determines how much skill is required to start gathering the primary reagent at its highest quality. Oh, okay, so you're not even going to see quality 3 until you've at least got 120 skill here. Roger that. Deep Grove Rose is the same scenario. You can pick up 6 per week. Okay, okay. Mulching. Magical mulch. Prepare the mulch for use. You will apply it to the next herb you gather, granting you a median amount of finesse. A medium amount of finesse. You can only use 1 mulch at a time. Finesse. A large amount of finesse. A giant amount of finesse. Okay. The fact that you got to throw spores and ley line residue at this gives me the impression that this mulching system is DOA. These reagents, like a finesse boost, does not... Okay, this will require some testing, but a finesse boost doesn't intrigue me that much, if I'm honest. 15, and it's like, will apply to the next herb you gather. This means you might use it very sparingly. It's kind of like a bonus overload, isn't it? But I suspect the cost of this might get ridiculous. 4 viridescent spores should last for 10 minutes instead only 1 use. Yeah, single use opportunity makes this feel instantly very expensive. Now, we are also led to believe that quality 1 mycobloom is going to be all over the shop. Look at what Hockenbloom was, right? Hockenbloom was pennies very quickly. And this could be a simple way to counter it, that you might take those pennies and at least try and do something with them. But if you've got to combine those pennies with something that's actually expensive, then it's an instant no. Looks like copy characters turned off at the moment, so I wasn't able to test it. Yeah, a bunch of people. I don't know. I can't actually figure out if this is a Team EU problem. Or I've not been able to copy character data the entirety of beta. Which, in some regards, is making it kind of frustrating to test things. So much so, I'm tempted to go back into Dragonflight and do Dragonflight content on the beta just to get my Artisans Consortium rep up, which sounds ridiculous. But because I can't copy character data over, I almost have no other option right now, which is mildly annoying. Sent into a dime, never forget, time to craft takes time. Sent to dime, never forget the time to craft takes time. Yeah. Yeah, you are right. Are we now automatically tracking herbs, minerals? Yes. Oh, that's interesting. There's a specific tab for warband completed quests. So you can choose. So there's an easy way built into the game. Does this mean regular quests won't show if your warband has already got completion on it? That's interesting. That's actually quite cool. I was thinking about that. How am I going to track what quests I've done and what characters? If the game does that for me automatically, then happy. Alright, let's go pick some shit up, shall we? Blessing Blossom. Boom. Let's put auto loot on. In fact, I'm not going to put auto loot on, at least for whilst we start. Just so I can see what's going on. Where's my pets? I wonder if an add-on like Gathermate works yet. I'm just wondering if it would be smart to try and get some node locations. Or more importantly, if... Oh, who was it that did it for me last time? Somebody... Was it who did it for me last time? In Dragonflight Alpha, somebody customized an add-on for me to track nodes on the map. I'll worry about that in a bit. Erupted with the Prime.
Sweet
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Good morning to you. I also maybe want to kind of keep track a little bit of where the skill thresholds are. Skinning with hyperspawn with yeah, I mean skinning is both hyperspawn if you can find beasts that you can kill that can hyperspawn, and if you can do it in a group, you can do some magical things. Bismuth. Getting some knowledge as well. Sorry, not knowledge. Flipping experience. Still early. Alone.
pesky gulls have been getting too close to the opal crag.
Why is
Thin
this
out
one
their
twinkly?
numbers and make them think twice about
Crystallized
bothering
Blessing
our
Blossom.
I need to target something first.
Crystallized. Let's track some node types. How do you spell crystallized? Is it with a Z? Crystallized. Crystallized is going to give us crystalline powder. I want to say thanks for all the great content. Love watching and listening to you talk about professions all day. While not always agree with your views on things, I respect everything you share. Keep up the good work. Thank you for one, and for two, I like what we've been able to do around here with that mindset. That we can, it's understood that people have different opinions, and I like that. I like that quite much. That we can have different viewpoints and not try and kill each other over it. I know I get quite opinionated about some stuff, but it's mutual understanding that people's opinions are different. I appreciate that. Love a good Ranthius over here. Close. Wait. Ben. Go scratching behind the sofa. Yeah, Ranthius does come out more often than I would probably like him to, but like it's sometimes it's necessary. Rich bismuth, we have rich nodes again. I need to get some good screenshots of these. Preferably without my character in them, actually. Back it up, pets. Oi, out the way! Wrecking my screenshots. Mining materials. Rich bismuth. I wonder if the rich nodes are going to give skill much further into the profession. I imagine they will. We're still... Let's try and rack these up. Mycobloom is the basic one. Blessing Blossoms. Bismuth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put bismuth over here. 1, 2, 3. We can put powders and stuff we get down here. Track the stuffs a little bit. Zygo sponsored mining node. Oh, of course, yeah, you guys. That's on my OBS overlay. These herbs brought to you by Zygo. I need a picture of a regular blessing blossom as well. There's going to be a lot of this at the beginning as I harvest screenshots and stuff. Blessing blossom. You made me get Zygo 2 weeks ago, now I'm spoiled. I'm trying to stop do some of the things the hard way. Zygo does make things much easier. Like, it just so frequently I spend my time like bouncing towards like Wowhead or something, desperately trying to find something. Like, often I can just, oh, there's the little magnifying glass, boom, press the button. It's that sort of simplicity that I like about it. Nothing wrong with Googling, and, you know, it's rarely information that can't be found elsewhere, but it just makes life easier. Especially when you're doing things for the second, third, fourth time as well. Aha! Haha, I forgot about this. Bigger limitations. Oh no, wait, hang on. What's going on here? I still haven't unlocked this flipping Pathfinder, because my main character seems to be balked with it. In terms of I can't get the Explorer achievements on my main, and I somehow, for some reason, can't get the Ringing Deeps achievement on my main either. So I need to... The reality is I need to level another character to 80. I might wait till tomorrow. I know I'm on a level 70 now, and I could level this character, to be fair. But there's a new beta build coming out tonight. So I would probably be smart to wait till tomorrow to level another character. But I could go and get these done. I could probably get the Pathfinder done, I suppose. If we're doing some herbing and mining, there's no reason we can't wombo combo, I guess. Although the exploration achievements, for some reason, don't seem to want to work for me. Still getting guaranteed skill points, which is nice. Oh, a lush blessing blossom. That's a node variation we have not seen yet. It doesn't seem to do anything different. Doesn't seem to appear any different, does it? Does it? No, it still appears to be exactly the same. Doesn't have a separate animation to it. Does our little journal track all of this? I'm assuming it does. Blessing Blossom crystallized. Be nice if it had actual images in here. So what's the difference here? Due to crystallized Blessing Blossom, due to the proximity with the core, some herbs have a more direct connection with the world soul. This link has caused the herbs to partly crystallize. Any herbalists who happen to gather one of these herbs will gain a small blessing in addition to some crystalline powers. What was the blessing? Okay. Let's do Lush. A Deep Grove Petal. Of which we can get a few of these a week. These are our study points. Herbalism study points. Some herbs grow particularly well and thrive for any number of reasons, regardless of climate or location. Herbalists who come across these rare nodes can retrieve additional usable materials. Well, we still only got 2 Blessing Blossom, but we did get our Deep Grove Petal from it. I believe that's going to be random. 120 skill. One 120. Nothing changes there. Oh, balls. Oh, have I done it again? Yeah. Well, I need regular flying. Gathering isn't offering elemental reagents. Where's the profit going to come from in the in? Well, it is, but the profit will come from quality 3. They've made a switch this time round. You're going to expect to find a lot less quality 3 materials, or should I say you're going to expect to have significantly more difficulty finding quality 3 materials. They seem, if we look here, let's look at the just rough numbers. You're going to get 100 skill from filling the bar, and you're going to get 40 skill from your profession tools. That's capped, right? There's 140 skill. That's all you're doing. Your Blessing Blossom, for example, you're not going to start seeing quality 3 until you've got at least 120 skill. So you're going to need to max this out, and you're going to need to have your tools and accessories in order before you might even start being able to pick up quality 3. And let's not forget that that only unlocks your ability to find quality 3. It doesn't mean you're going to find it very often. That's where spec trees, I guess, is going to come in. You're going to spec deep into something to improve your chances at finding those quality 3. The one reason herbs were worth, like, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another, though, because the reason that ore and herbs were worth predominantly nothing in Dragonflight was because they were considered a byproduct. The bottleneck material was the elementals. They're now being far more restrictive with how many patterns use. I mean, this is one of them, for example, the crystalline powder. They're being more restricted with how many recipes require what you'd consider the elementals. which should hopefully mean that people still care about the actual herbs in the ore themselves. But, you know, time will tell. I'm guessing we can't turn Q1 to 2 into 3. Oh, you can. You can. I still don't believe that there is some refinement available here. I still don't believe it's actually going to be used by anybody, though. I think the maths doesn't add up on this. Even with quality 3 being rarer, I'm not convinced that it's going to be 5 times the price of a quality 2. It will be rarer and it will be worth more, but will it be worth 5 times more? That's not really very likely, I don't think. Oh, there's a shiny one on the map, look. Webbed ore deposit. It's interesting to see how they are shiny on the minimap. Let me get back a little bit. You can see that they have a little twinkle on them on the minimap. Special ones, which is good. I like the fact that there's you don't have to. One of the frustrations for me was that you had to hover your mouse over every single ore node to find out what the flipping hell it was. So special nodes. Let's make some notes on this real quickly. What was this thing called? Webbed ore deposit.
I'm out of range.
What do you have? Presumably cloth, right? Weaver cloth. Okay. Some bonus mats. Oh, they've got this change in Dragonflight as well since 10.2. Oh, with the shininess. Well, that shows you how frequently I actually do gathering, doesn't it? At the moment, we'll still pick up everything whilst we're leveling. Neater and tidier images. Is a material. Ico Bloom Basic. Shiny one, look, crystallized again. Do you think this expansion will be friendly for solo character profession enjoyers? I don't like alts. No. This is a very alt-focused expansion. This is already a very alt-focused. Oh, does this have a slightly different animation to it? It's kind of spitting, look. Look like fancy ice cubes. They do a little bit, yeah.
Hey, that's too far away.
Crystalline powder again. Still get first time knowledge points by the looks of things from finding a node. You're still going to want to tap everything. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't at the beginning of the expansion at least anyway, but first time knowledge points are still a thing from, though it doesn't show. It's interesting how, unlike the other professions, you can't see the stuff you haven't found yet. And there's no real strict indication to show you something that you have or haven't found yet. I guess this is bonus knowledge. First time bonus. But don't each node type. Guess I'm old-fashioned, like just play my main. Oh no, I get it. But from a goblin perspective, if you're playing with professions, this is more of an alt-focused expansion than probably what we've ever seen before. Irradiated Blessing Blossom. Irradiated? What do you do then? You have your ley line residue, and you do the boom thing. Wow, that's dangerous without disengage, isn't it? that could have caught me off guard then. But Irradiated was responsible for the ley line residue. This thing called ley line. Ley line residue. What does the book have to say on that? How does this differ? Seem to be doing pretty well for finding Blessing Blossom. Am I right to assume that it's not totally zone-specific herbs, but it's starting to feel like certain zones might be better for certain herbs than others? Blessing Blossom, then. Recent events have led to large amounts of arcane magic to leak into the soil of Kazangar. As was noted back on the Dragon Isles, flora tend to be susceptible to magical influences, and this situation is no different. Some herbs here have been irradiated with arcane energy, and gathering them will allow the herbalist to obtain some ley line residue for their troubles. What may happen with the unstable arcane energy that remains, however, is another story. Also known as it makes you go boom and has a knockback. Okay. Yeah, there's part of me that wonders if the whole alt army thing with professions is kind of somewhat planned, just due to the fact that warbands are heavily promoting playing multiple characters and multiple classes and if they're going to... Oh, hang on, what's going on here? We got webbed. Oh, that's cool. You get webbed and that's going to hold you back and you got to run away. Wonder if it does anything if you don't run away. Force for weave for cloth. May web you run away. Yeah, there's kind of there's part of me that does wonder if that was kind of all in the grand plan. Oh, okay. What skill are we with herbalism right now? 22. Meaning we're starting to get less likely to gain skill points with Mycobloom. Mycobloom is now green at skill 22. They did say that they realised many people have alts, so I'm guessing they're going to lean in that from now on. But to be fair, I think they overdo it with the professions. Well, conceptually, as long as individual characters are not driven out of the market completely, then it doesn't really matter. And this is kind of the smart thing about concentration, is that there is less chance. There's less chance for mega goblins to completely monopolize market. They can have a damn good go, mind. They might not fully be able to dominate everything. Because there will be a finite amount of stuff they can do every day. Ooh, a shiny. Crystallized one. Got a bit more of a glow to it.
I need to get close.
Mycobloom is still green. Oh, iron claw ore. No! Stop whacking it. I didn't tell you to whack it. Oh, shit. I mean, no, family friendly. I'm not going to say what that node looks like. Facts. Material. Iron claw. Oh, slab of slate as well. Slab of slate is going to be some of your weekly knowledge. You may gain. Is it going to be 5, 6, 7, 8 knowledge points per week? Mining. 5 times slab plate and 1 times something. What's it going to be called? Oh, that's a better. That's going to be our mining one. Bismuth is there. Iron claw ore. You may discover 5 more samples this week. So yeah, we're going to get 5 of these, and then we're going to get an epic one. These are going to be worth 1, and then going to be something that's worth 3, isn't there? I mean, we are gaining experience from this, but if you are planning to go from 70 to 80 via gathering, expect it to be a slow process. It will happen though. Gathering's a slow process in the first place. Considering people quantify the usefulness of gathering on a per hour basis, until you've done quite literally 20 plus hours, you've barely scratched the surface. Having done the Half Hill Farm and the True Gold transmutes on 7 characters in the past, I'm not sure daily cooldowns are enough to save people from themselves. People probably have more characters than time. The interesting thing, I've already seen chatter on the internet of players who are still in the profession cooldown mindset. when it comes to alt armies. I've seen so many people already that have said that they're just going to have loads of alchemists and loads of tailors for the cooldowns. And I'm pretty convinced most people haven't really realized yet that every single crafted item is going to be like a cooldown item, which means that players don't have to restrict themselves to tailoring and alchemy, because everything has some advantage in that arena. When concentration is going to be your overall profession limit, every single craft within every single profession is going to act in a similar way to a cooldown, in terms of the fact that there's going to be X amount you can craft per day, per week, because of the concentration required to make them. So we're going to see a lot more variety, I think, or at least I hope we will see a lot more variety with the professions that people choose to multiply. It won't be just strictly, oh, you make a tailor and you make 500 tailors and they all spec into making these bolts, and then the market is completely flooded on those bolts because everybody's done the same thing, and you know, the margins are like this much on everything. You could easily have 15 blacksmiths all making, you know, different ingots, and making multiple quantities of different ingots, making them using the concentration every day. There's a lot more room for movement with the old armies this time round. But we will see. See. It's gonna take it's gonna take a little bit of getting used to, I think, for a lot of people, the way that concentration is gonna impact. Oh, we've unlocked specs at 25. Of course we do. Any herb node. Past skill 20. Myco bloom skill. Be green. Oh, rarely. Rare E-L-Y. Rarely get skill. Skill 25 to... Do we know when beta ends? Beta ends when the game launches. Historically, beta is available right up until the game goes live. Technically, the beta's often still available even after the game's gone live. They rarely take it down. Let's take a little bit of a look at the spec trees then. Right, first little look at spec trees for that image too. Right, bountiful harvests. Specialize in gathering the herbs around Kazalgar. Increase your skill whilst gathering herbs. Increase the effect of finesse whilst gathering herbs. Learn to refine herbs into higher qualities. Gather the rare and the elusive Null Lotus from additional sources. So what do we got here then? Still don't have a plan of what to do when it launches. Oh, don't worry. You've still got like 50 plus days to decide. Loads of time. Practice the meticulous process of spotting, harvesting, and storing the herbs of Kazongar more efficiently, gaining +1 skill whilst gathering. Learning this spec, gain +5 skill whilst gathering. So how many points are in here? 40. So there's 40 additional points, 45. Okay, so there's 45 skill points available, 40 from points in the tree, and then 5 at the beginning. So 45 skill points on top of... So that will give you, by the time you've leveled it to 100, 145, 185 by the time you've got your profession tools in order. 185 should start to be enough to see quality 3 a little bit more reliably. Nothing particularly fancy in here other than you get the refine herbs abilities. I'm convinced these are still bait. I don't really think that these are going to be worth much of anything, but flat skill here, definitely a good node to put some points in. Blossom Browser, Carnivorous Connoisseur, Fungus Forager, Orbinid Observer, Spear Scavenger. Now this is just speccing into getting the 5 main herbs. So let's say we go into Fungus Forager, which is our Myco Bloom. Develop an affinity for the common fungus of Kazongar, Myco Bloom, gaining +1 skill per point in this subspec whilst gathering Myco Bloom. On learning it, gain +10 skill. Skill when gathering Myco Bloom. Deafness, skill, finesse. Finesse has a chance to yield additional. Isn't that what finesse does anyway? Well, that's the point of finesse. Hang on. You have a 0% chance to gather more of the primary reagent found here. So, what? Finesse has a chance to yield additional Myco Bloom. Well, that's what finesse does. That is the purpose of finesse. I'm confused. Why is that a node? Okay. Deafness, skill, deafness. Your senses sharpen, allowing you to find Null Lotus more often when gathering Myco Bloom. Oh, that's clever. That's clever. Putting the boost to Null Lotus right at the end of these means if you are... Haha, so it's... See, that's quite clever because under normal circumstances, people would probably choose to be better at the rarer herbs first. Because, quite simply put, the rarer herbs are usually worth more money. Myco Bloom is probably going to be what's often considered as a byproduct. It's something that you pick up. You might even potentially mulch it down to give yourself a finesse boost when you then go and find something rarer. But you slap a big old, oh, you might find more Null Lotus node 40 points deep in this. The most frequent nodes on the map are going to be Myco Bloom because I'm already guessing that it's present in every zone. Just like Hockenbloom, for example, people kind of got to the point where they just ignore it. But if you get an increased chance at Null Lotus, which could be quite lucrative for you, you have a choice to make, don't you? You have the choice to make. Do you spec initially into the rarer herbs just to be better at picking those up? Or do you chance it and just fly around and pick up Myco Bloom as much as you possibly can, hit as many nodes as you possibly can per hour to maximize your chances of getting Null Lotus? That's going to be an interesting one. That might need a little bit of play. Is it true to say that that boost to Null Lotus is the capstone of all of them? Yes. It looks like it, doesn't it? So ultimately, 40 points in each one of these eventually will mean that you are getting Null Lotus significantly more often. But that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 200 points, 240 points to really jack up your chances of finding Null Lotuses. Otherwise, all of these nodes look pretty much copy-paste of each other. Okay, sure. I get the specs in profession window now. Like, it's not a specialization if you get it now, is it? Don't get it. Oh, well, yeah, the dictionary definition of specialization is that you are good at something specific. I do agree that when you can technically eventually be good at everything, that's no longer considered specialized if you're the jack of all trades. I kind of agree with you that I kind of don't like the fact they're called specializations when you can ultimately just have everything. You don't have, you know, talent points, talent trees, right? These are spec trees. These allow you to choose where you want to specialize. To specialize in one thing is usually to be less effective or not able to do something else. There's part of me that does kind of wish that the profession spec trees, specializations were more like these, where you had to choose to be good at something in favor of not being able to do something else. But apparently that logic doesn't apply for professions. Okay. Well, bountiful harvests is right. Sorry, I'm going to be making lots of notes today. The on-screen progress of what we're doing is going to be quite methodical today. This is the first time I've looked at the gathering specs. Got lots of notes to make. Even if it's self-explanatory to you guys, it may not be to others. There are 3 spec trees. Herbalist. Bountiful. Harvests. Botany. And overloading. Overloading the underground. How many points do we need to fill all of these? Herbalism. What did we just say? There's 240 points in this first one. How much is in botany? Oh, not so much. 40, 80, 120. Then overloading the underground. 40, 80, 120, 160, 200. 2, 4, 5, 560, is that? 560. $560 knowledge. Trees. Unlock your first 3 at skill 25. Am I right in assuming it's going to be 50 and 100 until you can learn the other ones? I'm going to guess it's 50 and 100 until we can learn the other ones. No, it's going to be 50 and 75, isn't it? Bountiful harvest. Grab image of this tree. I don't like the fact that they're not all filmed, but got to ask the other week, how was the holiday? Have I had a holiday? I think I've been on holiday. I had a 3-day weekend. I guess you can consider that a bit of a holiday. That was just midsummer, though. That's just you know, a regular event. I have a wedding at the end of the month in London. So I'm away for that. That will put me out of action for 5 days, I think. Off topic for today, but 10 to 70 leveling remix has now been done in 29 minutes and 25 seconds. The sub 30 minute 10 to 70 in remix. But how much pre-planning and preparation did that actually take to even achieve? What possibly could have been done to get your leveling speed to sub 30 minutes on remix? So he had 14 people helping him, so I don't think that really counts. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's 13 helpers. That's wild. It's still a pretty ridiculous record, though. Make it look pretty. Bountiful harvests. This is your herb factory. This will improve your success at collecting all the variations herbs within Azalgar. Your main node will eventually allow... Your main node will, after 40 points, provide you the ability to refine herbs up quality. A full 40 points in each herb nodes also increase your chances of, what was it called? Null Lotus. Probably worth a screenshot. Okay. Do you have a Premier League team that I follow? Not really. I've not for 20 years have I really followed club football. The common sense, the common sense approach is that I was born just outside Liverpool. So if I really was to follow anybody, I would probably follow Liverpool. I know they've done reasonably well in recent years. But the reality is I don't really follow anybody on a club level. I semi-supported Man United a lot as a kid, but that's because they were winning everything and my mates followed Man United. Like, I've never really had much of an affinity to a specific club, if I'm honest. The nice clickbait title, though. Level fast in under 30 minutes. Follow these easy steps. Step 1, get 14 people to help you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a good thumbnail. That is for sure. Smart, I'm an Everton fan, and life is just pain. Well, yeah. If I flip the coin, it will probably land on Team Red, if I'm honest. Followed Liverpool when Sami Hyypiä was the captain. That was quite a while ago now, I think, yeah. What's Botany do for us then? Study the various plant life around Kazangar and allow you to gather them. Gather herbs whilst mounted. Learn to plant and cultivate seeds at Beladar's Bounty in Hallowfall. I want to test this little thing out, you know. This might be the route I go on the test realms just to see how this works. Increase your deafness, finesse, and perception whilst gathering herbs. Okay. Being a Man U fan in recent years has been tough. Oh, I imagine. 20 years of nothing but success and then chaos. What I'm led to believe anyway. Right, Botany. Focus on the science of various plant life on Kazangar and how you gather them efficiently, gaining finesse per point in this spec, whilst gathering herbs. Gathering herbs in Kazangar will replenish 1 vigor and give you 10 deafness when gathering from the word go. Deafness 1 gathering, perception, finesse, or deafness. Learn how to gather Kazangar herbs whilst mounted. So 40 points in Botany is big business. This is your utility spec. Gaining few quality life improvements. Really cannot type as more. Mostly focused on increasing quality up. 40 points in main botany. Node block mounted gathering. What do these do? Cultivation. Study the intricacies of cultivating plant life, gaining perception per point in this spec whilst gathering. Expand your knowledge of the verdant seeds found in Kazangar, allowing you to find them more often. These seeds can be planted at the Beladar's Bounty in Hallowfall. We're going to have to talk about this Beladar's Bounty thing, aren't we, at some point? Overloading is back. Beladar's Bounty. Title. Is that how you spell Beladar's Bounty? Beladar. Botany. Beladar. Belladar's Bounty. That's going to get its own little topic of discussion, I think. How do we unlock adventure mode? Ding level 80 is practically it. Ding level 80 and finish the base campaign. The Ding level 80 requirement is because in fact, technically adventure mode is unlocked by completing the very first quest of the level 80 campaign, which, at least on beta, completing that quest requires you to be level 80. So even if you play through all of the campaign, you'll get to a quest that will offer you the ability to unlock adventure mode, but you won't be able to complete it until you're level 80. So you'll have to then go and do other stuff to get level 80, and then go back, complete that quest, and boom, hey presto, adventure mode is unlocked. You can gather rank 1 and rank 3 from the same node. Can you? So if it procs, if finesse procs and perception procs on the same node, it can give you both qualities. Interesting. Druids can mine in flight form in the beta. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. It makes a lot of sense, obviously, because, you know, druids do druid things. And it might save that druid initially putting 40 points in here. So I suspect if you are not a druid, this becomes very attractive to you. But it certainly, if it stays that way, is going to give druids a massive early advantage. Dynamic flight druid form, yeah. I mean, to me, it makes sense. You know, that's the perk of being a druid, right? Does it work for mining as well, though? Probably not, right? Oh, druid. Oh, no, you've just actually said druid can mine in flight form in beta. They've always been able to pick up herbs, right? I don't know. We'll have to test. Either way, that's a big node for people. Speciality nodes. Planting game over. Factories. We're led to believe that most of the spectries are at least 95% complete. I did spot yesterday, actually, with tailoring. Let me see if I can find it. I noticed yesterday with tailoring. Tailoring is actually so broken right now that it wasn't even possible to put every Yeah. Yesterday, I noticed this with tailoring. You can't even if you fill this node, you can't even unlock the third subspec. So tailoring is still very busted. I found more bugs and issues with tailoring so far than I have, I think, any other profession. This is your utility spec, gaining a few quality of life improvements, mostly focused on increasing the quality of 40 points in the main botany node. That's a name, so that gets a capital. This needs a. Cultivation, we decided, was a way to find more seeds for the Beladar's bounty. Find them more often. They can be planted at Beladar's bounty in Hallowfall. You're now able to collect crystalline verdant seeds whilst gathering crystallized herbs. Irradiated verdant seeds. Spore-fused verdant seeds. Your cultivation experience has taught you potent techniques, allowing you to find all varieties of verdant seeds more often. Okay. Cultivation is big on seed finding. What does this do? Mulching. I'm not convinced people are going to use this if it stays the way that it is. Learn what causes plants to grow and thrive in Kazangar, increasing your skills related to lush herbs whilst learning how to make potent mulches. Gain deafness in this spec whilst gathering lush herbs. Wow, that's really specific. Gain deafness only on lush herbs. Okay. Very specific. Learn to process herbs into magical mulch. Magical mulch, the basic one. Yeah, this is the basic one. Finesse. Your botanical knowledge allows you to activate your green thumb, getting double the herbs from your next gather. Is that what mulching does? Is that the bonus it gives you? Activate your green thumb. Is that like... double herbs on your next gather? Sure. Oh, green thumb has a 1 hour cooldown. Is it a separate ability we learn then? It's not even on our list. Okay, that's interesting. Then you have to fly around looking for the correct herb to double up on. Yeah. It's an interesting twist though. I like the sound of that. Green thumb. Learn to process herbs into imbued mulch. Then learn to process herbs into empowered mulch. Mulching. Node. Green thumb ability. Doubling the herbs gathered. Doubling the herbs gathered. Next. Gather. 1 hour. Also teach mulch. Okay. What's the last one? Overloading the underground. What do you have to offer me then? Let's read the spec first. Reduces the cooldown of overload empowered herbs whilst you gather. Reduces the negative side effects of gathering empowered herbs. And gain additional benefits. Increases your finesse and perception whilst gathering empowered herbs. Overloading the underground. The locals of Kazalgar have caused herbs to evolve and change in unpredictable ways. Devoting yourself to the study of these unusual variants will allow you to get more from these special herbs, whilst helping negate potential side effects. Gain +1 skill when dealing with these specialized nodes. Learn how to overload empowered herb. An ability that allows you to channel energy into empowered herbs for unique bonuses and effects if you don't know how to already. In addition, the cooldown of this ability is reduced whenever you gather herbs on Kazalgar. Why have we got these abilities already? Maybe we get them by default. And the more... Okay. So we don't actually need to put points in this to unlock it, to be fair, but... The cooldown of this ability is reduced whenever you gather herbs. Oh, I wonder if until you at least unlock this, you don't get any cooldown from it. Overload a nearby elemental herb, 12-hour cooldown. Specialize into overloading the underground to gain significant cooldown reduction on this ability whenever you gather herbs. Okay, I prefer that then. 12-hour cooldown by default. But if you spec into it, you can reduce it more by gathering. If I remember correctly, in Dragonflight, you didn't even unlock overloading until you spec'd into it. And maybe this way is just a way to say, hey, look, this is a thing. Press this button. In case you didn't already know what it was. Then I guess we have crystallized, altered, spore fused, and irradiated. That's the 4 different speciality nodes. Anything else fancy in this? Learn the subspec. The amount of overload cooldown refunded by gathering herbs is increased by a small amount. Reduced further. Reduced further. You gain an additional charge of overload empowered herb. Okay, a second charge on it could be helpful. Cooldown works without even going into that tree. Oh, so you still get a cooldown on it. Okay. I wonder if that's just beta being beta then. That I don't know. Okay, well, I guess we'll see. Granting improvements to overload ability. Main node will drastically reduce cool for each gather. And ultimate second charge. How do these differ then? Crystallized, attune yourself with the crystallized herbs of Kazangar and resonate with that ancient magic. Gain +1 skill per point in this spec when gathering them. Tune yourself to the lands further, granting you a return portal whenever you overload a crystallized herb. Oh yeah, this is what I haven't done either. I haven't figured out what happens when you overload on the speciality ones yet. A return portal. Finesse, skill, perception. The amount of overload cooldown refunded by gathering crystallized herbs is increased by a large amount. Overloading a crystallized herb has a chance to grant you extra crystalline powder. Okay. It's going to be interesting to tell which one of these 4 is the one that everybody wants and which is the one that ends up being expensive. It's a little bit more difficult to tell, since most of these elementals have not really been fully implemented in all the other professions yet. But I'm guessing the concept here is the same. Your knowledge of altered herbs and their dangerous side effects prepares you, reducing the damage you take from them. So altered clearly gives you a debuff, or a dot or something. Cooldown reduction. You receive more writhing samples from the creature summoned by overloading an altered herb. Also, altered herb summons something that you then have to kill. Okay, I get it. And then you can tell it to just do less damage, I guess. Spore fused. You see less dangerous hallucinations whilst affected by the magical spores. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Overload reduction. And can see camouflaged herbs whilst affected by them. This requires more testing. Irradiated. The knockback explosion caused by gathering an irradiated herb has less of an effect on you. Yeah, it nearly yeeted me off a cliff a minute ago. At the start of Dragonflight, you needed to unlock overloading, but yes, it was changed to baseline with a 12-hour cooldown. When you spec into elemental stuff, you then get the cooldown rate. Oh, okay, I see. Dragonflight decay legit kills you all the time. Yeah, if you're undergeared, it definitely will. Master your skills over arcane duplication, creating an additional herb when you use it. What the hell's arcane duplication? That sounds like another ability we get. Okay, I need to figure this tree out a little bit more. Sub nodes will each reduce the negative Okay. Right. I think I have a little bit of a rough understanding of what's going on there. There's a seagull having a fight on my roof. It spooked the dog. What is it, Nipsis? Seagull having a fight. Yes, students on my roof. The wife was going in the garage. Oh, a verdant seed. Are these bind to warband as well? Plant the seed in a patch of rich soil on Kazamgar. Rich soil can be found at Beladar's Bounty in Hallowfall. Who knows what might grow? Seeds. I guess we need a little subsection for seeds, don't we? Good stuff with the overload was the sub-spec, like going into the Titan overload. Yeah, it's going to be... I still haven't quite decided what impact these speciality materials are going to have on professions. Going overload was dominantly considered the right thing to do because of Awakened Order at the beginning of the expansion. Beginning of Dragonflight, should I say. It's... Ooh... Aha, clever. Yeah, I haven't decided if it's going to be the right thing to do this time around. With how problematic quality 3 herbs or quality 3 materials might be to acquire and how impactful they may be for crafting stuff, I still can't quite decide if bountiful harvests could be the play. Just purely by the fact that it gives you huge amounts of skill when gathering the herbs. Just flat out. That could be ultimately worth more to you than these speciality materials, but it almost, at least at this point, feels more like a choice to make. Whereas objectively the right choice was going into overloading in Dragonflight. Crystallized Iron Claw. Imperfect Nullstone. Combine 5 of these to forge an unblemished Nullstone. I knew those exist, I just didn't realise they were implemented. Imperfect Nullstone. Mining materials.
Fallside Outpost needs reagents for incense to use at morning rise. Will you accept this new directive and procure them?
Lush still only gave me 5. Irridated herbs are the biggest problem I've found till you have mounted gathering, as they have a good chance of killing you by the knockback. They do damage as well when they knock you back? Or is it just it's going to yeet you off a cliff? Launch you back and it's fall damage. What cat form was designed for? Disengage. So a rich one gave me practically the same as a lush node. I've had lush herbs give me one herb quite a lot of times in Dragonflight. Yeah, real lush. Should we overload on a crystallized one? See what overloading on a crystallized one does. Overload crystallized. Stand in the thing. Click the thing. Crystalline portal. Just ports you to another node. Same as last time. Which means you want to remember to hit the node first, otherwise you lose the original node. Annoying. So, overloading crystallized. I'm going to assume this is roughly the same for... One spect into via what was the node for? Oh, I haven't reached 25 yet to see them. Remember to loot the main node for portal. Wasn't there some sort of minigame planned whilst herbing mining? Well, there's an area over in Allowfall, up here somewhere. Where has it gone? I think it's this little area around here. There's an area around here somewhere. Beladar's something or other. Beladar's bounty, where you can plant seeds more easily. But I don't know yet. Not tested. We'll get there. Okay, Blessing Blossom is now only sometimes giving me a skill point, and we're only at level 31. I'm going to assume it's actually skill 30 plus. Skill 30 plus is going to require you to Gather speciality. Bismuth. $24. One more to go. Lush Blessing Blossom. What happens if we overload a lush one? What do you mean out of range?
Hey, that's too far away.
How can that be too far away? Okay. Apparently I can't overload on a lush one. Oh, you can't overload lush. Okay. Sure. Alright. That fixes that problem, doesn't it? Appreciate it, boys and girls. Preventing me from looking stupid for many years now. Or preventing me from looking stupid for too long, at least. Alright, this should unlock us spec trees for mining. Okay, mining specs. 25. So we have a little look at the mining spec trees. I'm going to assume the mining spec trees are not far different to the herbalism ones, honestly. Three trees. Plethora of ore. I like the word plethora. Helps I can say it. Plethora of ore, mining fundamentals. And mastering. Curious. How many spec points do we need for mining then? 50, 45, 90, 140. Oh, flipping hell. 185? Too early for maths. 85. That 185? 90. 140. 185, yeah. Mining fundamentals, 60, add 50 is 110. And then mastering the mysteries. 45, 40, 80, 120, 160, 205. Oh, it's far too early for those maths numbers. Calculator. By far too early, I mean 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 185 plus 110 plus 205. Bang on 500. That's the second cheapest profession next to engineering that only requires 480. Need a total of 500 knowledge points. Right, plethora of ore. Gain increase to skill to acquire higher quality ore when mining the ores you have chosen to specialize in. Learn refinement recipes, which allows you to improve the quality of small quantities of ore. Improve your ability to harvest the elusive nullstones, and improve the speed at which you mine ore so that you have time to mine even more. Okay. Not sure if it's just beta, but it took me about 5 hours to gain 65 skill points in herbalism. There might be some weird and wacky balancing of the skill points, but beta does beta thing. Let me grab a drink before I quickly look through these. In fact, I'll take a quick break for 2 minutes, boys and girls. I'll take a quick bathroom break at the same time. I'll be back in 2. Yo, yo, yo! Who's this then? Who's this then? Who's this then? Grizzling Rose and her crew. Welcome in, boys and girls. Welcome in. Thank you very much for the raid. More Dracothists? Hang on, it's a Tuesday. A Tuesday. Does that mean you're been making Dracothists or buying materials for Dracothists or all of the above? Appreciate the raid though. Thank you. Welcome in, boys and girls. Yeah, great timing. Literally, I'd take a 2-minute break and you jump in. It's all good though. It's all good. Thank you, thank you. Selling them now, 110k profit in an hour, 40 minutes. Hey, you can't argue with that, can you really? Can't argue with that. Yeah, cannot argue with that whatsoever. 56 multi-crafts. Free money. Free money. Love that. Love that. Right, where did we... We were looking at spectries for mining, weren't we? Plethora of ore. How does this look any different to the herbalism one? Herbalism had bountiful harvests. Oh, well, I guess there's more... I guess there's more to herbalism because there's more base materials. Mining is going to have... Mining only has bismuth, aquarite, and iron claw, so I guess there's less to it. Improve at the fundamentals of mining Kazalgar deposits. You gain 1 skill point per point. Subspec. Subspec. Subspec again. Wow. Okay. It's just a flat skill. Didn't this offer at least something useful? Oh. Bountiful Harvests also provided you the refinement abilities for over in herbalism. Not so much the case in mining. I guess that's somewhere else then. Alright, sure. This is your ore quantity. Quantity and quality tree. In fact, it's more the quality tree, isn't it? Improving your skill mining of the base material, base nodes. More skill equals higher and at higher quality. Improve very do any of these subnodes do anything particular special? We ban this song, please. Every time it plays, I think my headset's broke. I might try and configure a skip tune redemption or something. Right, bismuth. Basic ore. Gain 1 skill when mining bismuth. Skill, finesse. Ah, this is where the refinement comes in. Learn to refine quality 1 into quality 2. Refine quality 2 into quality 3. You no longer damage uncovered nullstones when gathering bismuth. You no longer damage them? What? Used. Mad confused. Okay. Aquarite, I presume, is then the same. Refinement. No longer damage uncovered nullstones. I don't understand what it means by a damaged nullstone, but that's probably because I've not found one yet. Okay. You're also getting the refine skills. But plethora of ore. The next one then, mining fundamentals. Specialize in nuanced mining methodology to improve your techniques. Knowledge in this area will allow you to get the most out of your rich and seam deposit discoveries. Oh, I've not spotted any seams yet. They must be buried deep in caves. Learn how to mine ore deposits whilst mounted. Improve your finesse, deftness, and perception whilst mining in Kazalgar. Chunks of ore dislodged whilst mining can be mined for additional yield. Okay. That sounds like an interesting twist. I'm in shambles after the last 2 days. You're in shambles? Why for? What's put you in shambles, Zan? Welcome in though, by the way. Ooh, Drizzly Rose has ordered a new bike, apparently. I need to buy a new bike. I broke the chain. And in breaking the chain, I also broke the gear, the thing at the back that changes the gears. Plus the bike is old, so it's probably about time just to replace the whole goddamn thing. Okay, only 3 nodes. Specialized in nuanced mining methodology to improve your technique. Gain finesse whilst mining in Kazalgar per point in this spec. Unlocking it will also grant you vigor. Useful. Very useful. Deftness, skill, perception, subspec, finesse, skill. Final subs. Is that how many points in this? 60. Holy sugar plums. Deafness, perception, finesse, and then finally you can mine whilst mounted. 60 points to be able to do it whilst mounted. Jeesh. One of the walls in my room downstairs here was full of mold because my parents decided to use paint that didn't let the wall breathe, so I had to scrape the whole wall and redo my entire setup room. Shattered? Oh, oops. Oops. Yeah, mold is the last thing you want anywhere near you. That's a great way to give yourself a lung infection. Or die. Enjoy your content recently. How would you recommend a player that doesn't have millions of gold to sink into crafting at the start but still wants to earn money? Gathering. Simple answer. Herbalism, mining. Exactly what we're going through right here, right now. Early expansion gathering is very lucrative. Very, very lucrative. Every hour you spend, your gold value is going to go up by quite some substantial amount. Absolutely. This is not to say that you can't do any crafting, but be aware that leveling crafting professions is often not cheap. I usually budget at least 50 to 100,000 gold per profession. And at the beginning of an expansion, that's not even taking into consideration you might want to buy specific recipes or, you know, your profession tools and that sort of stuff. So you need a reasonable nest egg before you can get too deep into crafting. At least if you want to do it on a couple of characters. Like if you just want to pick one crafting profession, it's relatively cheap. But I'd recommend starting with some gathering. Herbalism, mining, skinning is another good option. Doing something where you don't have to spend gold to make gold, where you only need to spend some time. Dance on the mailbox with minimum clothing. That does also work, I hear. Yeah. I only found out because one of my posters fell off the wall. Or I just exposed a big green patch. What's worse is what's worse is when the mold is back, then you know something's there. Right. Oh dear lord, okay. You defo went to town on that wall. You showed that wall who's boss. Scraping it down. Yeah, get some chlorine on that bitch. Kill all that mold. Woo! I have the stream on mute on my second screen when I'm in meetings all the time, but I look at the playlist and the song plays in your brainstem. Hey, that's quite clever, you know. You know the tunes. Right, rich deposits then. We're going to have to put 60 points in this puppy dog to be able to mount whilst mining. That's kind of very useful. A heavy utility. 3. Back. 60 points in what's it called? Mining fundamentals. £60 points is going to unlock mounted mining. Rich deposits. Specialize in mining rich deposits across Kazalgar, gaining skill in these. Gain 3 skill when mining rich deposits. Perception whilst whacking them. Skill. Whenever you mine a rich deposit, there's a chance to dislodge a chunk of rock that can be mined again. That's quite cool. That's like a multi-craft proc. That's a mining multi-craft right there. The only fun guy down here is me. Hey! Hey, mushroom jokes. Okay. Rich deposits. Rich deposit. What was it? 20 points in rich deposits? 5, 10, 15 points. Mining multi-craft. What do we got from seams? Specialize in mining seams across Kazalgar. Whenever you mine a seam, there's a chance to dislodge a chunk of rock that can be mined again. 15 points there needed also. 15 points in rich deposits or seams. Also allow for second ore node to be mined. This is a very odd feeling tree. It doesn't really seem to stand out as that useful. Utility spec tree. Warding. Really not much to say about that tree, really. There's only 3 flipping nodes for starters. And then mastering the mysterious. I guess this is the overload tree then. Mining seems very basic and straightforward. Herbalism feels as if it's got a lot more to it. Mastering the mysterious. Specialize in mining unusual deposits across Kazalgar, such as those touched by ominous forces. What are those ominous forces? Is that ominous force, Dr. Disrespect? Gain significant cooldown reduction to overload whilst mining. Learn how to protect yourself and improve yield from unusual deposits. Gain an additional charge of overload. Okay, well yeah, this seems to be much of the same overload speckness, doesn't it? Oh my god, look at the spikes on that thing. You know, if I buy the War Within now, would I get the beta, and does that carry over when the full game comes out? The Epic Edition will give you access to the beta. The beta is a test platform. There is no carryover. Once the game launches, you use your regular retail characters. Beta is literally a test platform. It is not an early access system. Although, that said, you do get 4 days early access once the game goes live on the August 22nd. That's only with the Epic Edition. Mastering the Mysterious then. Specialize in mining unusual deposits, gaining skill in them. The cooldown of Overload Empowered Deposit is reduced whenever you do some mining. Teaches you the Overload Empowered Deposit if you have not already learnt it. I wonder if that's because if you have Dragonflight mining, that you learn the abilities from there. I don't know. That would be weird. Cooldown is reduced. Cooldown is reduced. Learn the sub-spec. Cooldown is reduced. Sub-spec. Cooldown is reduced. I sense a pattern here. Sub-spec. Cooldown is reduced. Sub-spec. Gain an additional charge. Okay. Sure. That works out the same. And then crystallized, weeping, outlawed, webbed. Okay. Return portals are now summoned at your destination after overloading crystallized deposits. Oh, you get that instantly. You had to spec like 40 points or something stupid into that in Herbalism to get the return portal on crystallized. I swear you did. Oh. Oh no, no, you do get the portal straight away on crystallized. I suspect these trees are then practically identical, aren't they? Return portals. Be better, be better, be better. Mining crystallized deposits grant an additional 30% CDR. Overload. Be better, be better, be better. Bonus resource. Neutralizing the negatives. Be better, be better, be better. CDR. Be better, be better, be better. Extra materials. Yeah, these are all the same, aren't they? You now gather from armed mining deposits much quicker, resulting in a lower chance of a pickaxe-related accident. What? Hang on. Outlawed easy mine nodes. There are some mining nodes that fight back, do they? Okay, cool. You now have learned how to avoid getting caught in the sticky clutches of webbed ore deposits. Mining webbed ore deposits, so CDR. Overloading it now summons twice as many spindle spiders to capture. Okay, yeah, this tree's practically exactly the same. This spec tree. How many points did I say we had to put in here? 45 points. $45 points in there is probably the big talking point. From there, final 40 points each. Subnodes will increase, or is it increase or a chance of? Grants a bonus powder. No, hang on. Right, okay. That's the spec trees for herbing and mining looked at then. Whether we choose, with the direction you're going to choose to go with herbing or mining, is very much, once again, going to depend on just how powerful overloading is going to be. If these elemental type items are as heavily required, which I do not believe at this point they are, but if they are as heavily required as they were in Dragonflight, then overloading is going to be the way to go. Alternatively, I strongly think that bountiful harvests and plethora of ore might be the smart move, just because more skill when picking these things up is going to be more quality 2s, more quality 3s. And we're already led to believe that the demand for top quality materials is going to be higher, and they're going to be harder to get by default. So improving your chances at that might not be a bad choice. Okay. There's not much more to do now then than actually just go and do more. Just need to go pick up a bunch. It was always going to be a slow burn whilst I figured everything out to begin with, but now that we're kind of at a point where we just got to go do more of it. You can start gathering without training. Oh, can you? Some expansions have let you start gathering straight away. If you've got past expansion gathering, you probably can. But you'll probably be restricted to only getting one of everything until you do it. So you are still just better off going and flying straight to Dornogal, picking up the Azalgar variations before you do anything. But you're right, that is probably something that's worth pointing out to people. If you've asked the question, I'm sure other people will ask the question. Oh, here's a special one. Whoa, hello. Can't fly right. What are you? Irradiated Blessing Blossom. What happens when we overload an irradiated? Nothing, apparently. Oh, I missed. I'm going to take more fall damage even. Whoops. Oh, wait, hang on. What's here? Arcane Duplication. Use the latent arcane energy you stored from the irradiated herb to magically duplicate the basic form of a nearby herb. So what if I then go and find a better herb? Rich Iron Claw? That looks cool. Do you get flying straight away? Yes. Yes, you do. So let's go to this Blessing Blossom. We now... This thing. Go... Arcane Duplication! Boom! Hey, it made a second one. Clever. That's quite cool. Overloading. Thought I should probably talk about the speciality nodes before I talk about overloading the speciality nodes. Overloading on an irradiated herb. This will grant the flipping now. What was it called? Arcane Hands or something? I should have paid attention to this while I had it. This will duplicate a nearby herb. The new zones look good. Well, the zones are the first zone I quite like. Aesthetically, it's just nice. I don't know, simple, straightforward. You quickly then go underground, which people have very distinct opinions on what they like about the underground ones and what they don't like. My two favourite zones are Hallowfall and Isle of Dawn. The Ringing Deeps, sure, I can live with it. I don't particularly like Azj-Kahet, the Nerubian, like, cave zone. But, like I said, your mileage may vary. It's very much personal preference, to tell the truth. Orbinid Iron Claw. Grab this Iron Claw. Oh, Jesus. It's just... Get down. Down. Dog going past the house.
I need to target something first.
Ah, no, what am I doing? Killed the wrong thing. Oh, you. No, stop pulling more shit. Flipping hell. This is why you shouldn't tab target. Tab target gets you in sticky situations. Interestingly, this is the first and only time I found Orbinid in this zone, I think. Yeah, first time we've picked up some Orbinid. Slab of slate. Have I got a yeah. Up to 2 of those, 3 of those. I need to remember when I get the epic versions of those to remember to take a screenshot. Yeah, Hollow Fall does look very nice. Oh, you're evading. You're in the flipping ground. Stuck in the ground. Yeah, leveling both herbalism and mining doesn't particularly at this point seem to be too strenuous. I kind of feel that you're quickly going to find that speciality... I wonder at what point it basically says, right, now you must get like only X or Y. You can still pick up nearly anything right now and get skill points. I guess as long as you can get to 75 relatively quickly and easily, it's fine. Because you want to at least unlock all 3 spectries, I reckon. I should still point out, I don't think I've picked up a single quality 2 material yet, by the way. Just to showcase what it's going to feel like in terms of quality. I'm skill 40 with herbalism and 31 with mining. Not so much a fan of the ringing deeps, but the others are great. Yeah, zone preference is always, well, each to their own. One thing I am able to draw as a conclusion very quickly here is that Blessing Blossom is likely to be very cheap on the first day. Oh, Aratha's Spear. This is the first time we found this one. Oh, it gave us a Deep Grove Petal as well. This zone seems to be full of Blessing Blossom. Orbinid, Aratha's Spear. What's the other one I'm missing? Blessing Blossom, Orbinid, something, Aratha's Spear. Can't think what that something is. I'm missing something. One day I'll remember the names of all of these. Crystallized Iron Claw. Also had far more success on crystallized elementals. This is all super speculative though at this point, because obviously once the game goes live there'll be huge competition for all of these nodes. Whereas now I just fly around and I pick up everything I see. Awesome again. Is there a spec tree to enable you to pick up things whilst mounted? Yes. Yeah, both herbalism and mining will allow you to do that. It's like 40 and 60 points deep though, I think. So you have to be quite far into it. I wonder actually if the first spec that gives you vigor, is it mining fundamentals, the one that gave you, whenever you mine Kazalgar you restore 1 vigor. Just unlocking this tree and unlocking that ability, that's your first one, it's not a terrible idea. Even if you don't plan to put points in here, just because whilst you're flying it's, you know, vigor regeneration is useful. Same for herbalism. I think it was the botany one, wasn't it? Gathering herbs will give you a vigor. So unlocking those trees first. Requires level 50 herbalism. Yeah, it's going to be 25, 50, and 75, I think. Oh. Yeah, both herbs and ore can be tracked on the minimap at the same time. We have the tech these days.
Hey, that's too far away.
Wait, hold on. What's this crystalline empowerment? Filled with the power of a crystalline node, secondary stats increased by 3%. You're protected from the negative effects of altered and weeping nodes. Further mining or herb gathering extends this duration. Worth noting in the speciality nodes, isn't it? Crystallize. Crystallized results in crystalline powder. And also provide a buff. Okay, it took me so long to take notes of that. I've practically run out of this now, but that could be a useful thing if you're gathering at speed. Especially another reason to maybe have both herbalism and mining. It's going to be significantly easier to keep this buff up. Because anything that you're tapping will have the effect. Webbed ore deposit. Not got an overload just yet. Beaver cloth. Is this going to... I don't know what that... I haven't figured out what that webbing does yet. Doesn't seem to do anything that significant. Any combined benefit to having both herbalism and mining at the same time, like in Zaralek? Not that I've found so far. This crystalline empowerment seems to be the closest thing. Protecting you against the negative effects of altered and weeping nodes. And it increases your secondary stats by 3%. Secondary stats being your gathering specific ones, I'm going to assume. But it seems to be a buff that's not... Wow. Haha. I was about to say it doesn't seem to be that difficult to keep the buff going, but also I've got free access to all herbs right now. All nodes. Zero competition on beta realms. Who in their right mind is gathering on the beta, you know? Repaired bike and materials to make a chicken dinner. Winner, winner. Uh, 48 in herbalism. To get to 50 to unlock the second spec tree. What are you? Crystallized iron claw. I don't think I've had any aquarite yet at all, have I? Still only found 2 imperfect knoll stones. And not a single imperfect knoll lotus. Rich bismuth. These are guaranteed skill points still. Oh, I missed. Missed. Oh no, my short ass goblin can't get up there. Oh, booey. Short goblin. Crystallized Blessing Blossom. This should give me... Oh, hang on. What's my overload? Oh, 13 minutes still. Skill 50 for herbalism. What do we want next? Plus 5 skill when gathering flat. Or... Learn how to overload empowered herbs, an ability that allows you to channel energy into empowered herbs for unique bonuses and effects. Don't know it already. In addition, the cooldown of this ability is reduced whenever you gather. I think I'll just take the flat skill bonus for now, until we get to 75. Bismuth is no longer granting skill points, and we're only at 40. I assume there were nodes in the skill tree that allow gathering whilst mounted. Yes. Yes, yes. 40 and 60 points in, I think, respectively. Maybe you're complaining about England, but did you see Portugal last night? Now that's a shame. Flipping Ronaldo crying on the pitch after missing that. Did you see how dirty the BBC did him? Hang on, hang on. You may have seen this, but others might not have. This is funny. when they check this out, right? When the BBC were doing the coverage of the football, they did Ronaldo dirty. When they did the replay, when they did the replay, right? When they did the replay of him missing the penalty, it's a little bit hard to see this. Look at the caption they put for him. Mistiano Penaldo. Oh dear. Somebody at the BBC's getting fired. I thought that was genius. That was so funny. He obviously redeemed himself, clearly, but I thought that was fantastic. Common typo? Exactly, yeah. Slip of the finger. Oh, that did make me giggle quite heavily. Yeah, Portugal were fucking shocking. They were like, I wish, you know, they'd still beat England, mind, but Lord have mercy. They were terrible. They seem to suffer with the same shit and all. Same problem of, like, just not pushing forward.
Thin out their numbers and make them think twice about bothering our equipment.
But yeah, this is why penalties is so harsh. The reality is that, you know, Georgia kept them to 0-0 throughout the entire game. Admittedly, Georgia weren't able to score either. But then when it comes to penalties, there was no doubt. There was no doubt in anybody's mind that the capability of the Portuguese in terms of penalty shootouts was light years ahead. This is why I think penalties is such a harsh way to finish any game. Penalties, dare I say it, just seems to be a monstrous advantage to whichever team is on paper better. Slab of plate. Goalkeeper won the penalty shootout for Portugal. Yeah, I mean, he saved all 3 penalties, which is outrageous. But most people would probably say that the 3 penalties that he saved were not great penalties in the first place. They were perfect goalkeeper height, and they were not really in the corners. Anywhere near enough. They were average penalties. But yes, Portuguese goalkeeper, no, quite literally saved their ass yesterday. Especially the one-on-one opportunity, like 5 minutes before the end as well. I thought Georgia were going to score that goal and it was going to be like the first big upset. How would you settle against swords? A gentleman game of slaps. Crystallized Mycobloom. Have I overloaded on a crystallized one? Have I figured out what this does yet? Can't remember what I've overloaded on. Overloading. We overloaded an irridated one. I don't think I've overloaded a crystalline. Oh, I have. It does the portal, doesn't it? Take the portal. Loot it. Take the portal. Preferably get ported to somewhere else. Ported me straight to an irridated one. Nice. Boom. worth. Spawn a portal to another nearby. Remember to loot first. Or taking portal. Still yet to find a single quality 2 herb. We are skill 56 with herbalism. Still never seen a quality 2 even. I love it when a keeper saves Rena Rose as Chef's Kiss. Yeah, it's there's no doubt that I can't remember the guy's name, but like he's got the goalkeeper is clearly quite skilled in penalties. You could tell his movement just prior to the shots being taken. He was able to really well read the strikers or the penalty takers. Give him credit where credit is due. Haha, disengage for the win. Disengage is gonna save my ass many times with that, I can tell. Webbed ore deposit. What happens if we overload a webbed deposit? What did it do? Oh, you stamp on the little spiders and you get weaver cloth. That's interesting. Okay. Overloading a webbed node. Spawn small spiders. Which when man over. What was it called? Weaver cloth. Interesting. I should actually be taking video footage of doing this, considering overloading is annoying till you've specced into it. Rich iron claw, yes please. Romania versus the Netherlands and then Austria, Turkey. Jack probably doesn't want to hear this, but I think Romania have a reasonable shot against the Netherlands, although I think it could be quite an even match. Austria should do reasonably well against Turkey, I believe. They've performed quite well. This is going to make me go boom. Loot it. Disengage. Yeah. The trick with this is to, it doesn't make you go boom until you loot it. So if you don't have auto loot on, it doesn't instantly kick you away. Dutch are sucking like hell. Well, anybody that's been to Amsterdam might understand that concept. Well, a lot of sucking goes on there, I believe. Portugal, England in the final? Fucking joker. Portugal, England in the final. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I need 3 more points in mining. Oh! This is our once a week thing. That's our once a week herbalism thing. Weekly knowledge gains. You can gain 5 times deep grove petals per week. Board 1 times knowledge points. Do they actually reward 3? Yeah. You suspect it will be a while before you find a fully grown deep grove rose again. Yeah, so these are on a weekly cooldown. So if we go into our herbalism journal, much like Dragonflight, we should now see you may discover no more samples this week. So we've from the word go, you are likely to be restricted on your weekly knowledge gains for gathering. 5 petals, 1 rose. We all know the dream final is actually in the quarterfinal, Germany-Spain. That's going to be a banger of a game. It's Friday night, that one, isn't it? I think that's Friday night. That's to get some beers out and sit down and enjoy that one. That's going to be an absolute stonker. Although, what sometimes worries me about these really big, high-profile games so early on in the competition is that both teams will play hyper-defensive, I feel, which could just neutralize and kill the entire game. Because neither team is going to want to go out in the quarterfinals. And so both teams will probably be happy to sneak that 1-0 victory kind of thing. It could end up being really gross. Those dream lineups are, you know, it's great in the final because you're already in the final and they're, you know, at that point they're playing to win. But this early in the competition, they're sometimes a bit 50-50. I don't think Germany or Spain have any defense in their teams, though. Well, yeah, this is it. They're both very subject to counterattacks. If they both play the counterattack game, push high, and then, you know... If they're both trying to push high, the counterattack opportunities could be crazy. That flipping, what's his name, Yamal or something, that 16-year-old lad is just wildly impressive. The confidence at the age of 16, like, to be able to do what he's doing. He's got to keep an eye on his DMs, you know. Dr. Disrespect's going to be in him if he's not careful. Oh, hang on. Myco Bloom. Quality 2. What skill were we? Mining skill 49. Sorry, herbalism skill 59. And our first quality 2. Rich Iron Claw. This should give us skill 50 in mining. Yes, please. Thought he only used Twitch Whispers. Knows what he uses now. Do we want... I think I decided that the plan of action here is to get this one, isn't it? Because it's just a flat 5 skill when mining shit. Unlock that. I'm not spending any knowledge points just yet. Because I would quite like to track how many knowledge points is easily obtainable. Presumably, there's... Let's look at bismuth, crystallized, rich. Well, there's four speciality ones. There's then going to be... So, the node itself, the rich version of it, and then 4 specialities. Does that mean there's 6 knowledge points up for grabs for each ore type? So 6, 12, 18. Then 19, 20, 21, 22 for the different overloadings. How have I only got 8 knowledge points so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't seem like you get a knowledge point the first time you loot the basic shit. So Iron Claw, Bismuth, and Aquarite, which apparently is impossible to find, seemingly. Yeah, there's really not going to be that many like knowledge points to gain from mining things for the first time. It's going to be knowledge books. At least Artisan's Acuity. As a gatherer, you'll be happy spending that straight away on knowledge points, I guess. That said, what are you going to do with your Artisan's Acuity in the first week? Are you gonna spend it on... What are you going to spend it on? Are you going to look at getting... You're not going to be able to get 300, I don't think, to get your first profession tool or accessory. I wonder. I've also not found... Not that I've really been looking, actually. I've also not stumbled across any treasures so far for herbalism or mining. What's this? Hello? Deep Grove Petal, Deep Grove Rose, Deep Grove Roots? Where the fuck did you come from? The roots continues to grow even after the rose is plucked. Not useful for any practical purposes, but rather intriguing to study. Ooh. Does this... You may also continue find Deep Grove after collecting your weekly petals. Rose. Interesting. Possible catch-up points, maybe. Interesting, we got that only after we'd got all of these. It wasn't even a special node or anything, though. I wonder if mining's going to have something similar to that, then. We only played on 11. I don't grasp yet where engineering scrap is coming from. Scrap can come from most mechanical things. Like cloth tends to drop from humanoids. Piles of scrap tends to come from mechanical creatures. You in essence farm it. You kill things and you farm it. You can technically craft scrap by using the recycle feature. You recycle parts into scrap. Meaning cheap parts that you can produce and then be recycled into scrap that way for the truly lazy approach. So you don't need mining to do engineering. I mean, it would help in a way. You don't need it though, because somebody else can do the mining and you just buy the materials. Same concept with most professions, really. You can, of course, go out and gather the materials yourself, but it's you're not wise to. Right, we're now at skill 60 with herbalism, and it seems as such that we are not gaining skill points at all from even the rare variations now. 60 plus is going to be speciality nodes only by the looks of things. And even then, it's only a slim chance. What the hell is it going to take to get to 100 then? That seems pretty... Woo, spicy meatball. Rich bismuth. Do these offer skill points? Ooh, even the rich ones are only green. Even rich nodes are only very rarely going to offer skill. Woo! It's gonna be tough cookie to level this. How the flippin' hell are we meant to level this? Interestingly, actually, mining doesn't seem to have the skill up notifications like herbalism does right now. But maybe that's an indication that it's not balanced yet. See, herbalism shows you when you go pick this up, there is a chance for a gaining of skill. Mining doesn't have that. Ratha's Spear. Again, not giving skill points. Another Deep Grove route. Really do hope that they make these Deep Grove routes rarer than I've found them to be. There's part of me though that kind of likes it that you can just gather and slowly but surely grind your way to max if you really want to.
Fallside Outpost needs reagents for incense to
There
use
is
at
the
morning rise.
inherent problem in that with
Accept this
me
new
though that
directive and procure them.
bots are going to be doing this 24 hours a day. Meaning the worst case scenario is that bots end up being miles ahead of regular players, even in skill, which is quite scary a thought. Another Deep Grove routes. Okay. I wonder if they've just turned those to 11 because it's still beta. I'm going to assume that they're meant to be significantly rarer than what I'm finding them. Aha! Our first ding. That only took us, what, 3 hours, 20 minutes since I started the stream? It's not going to be a quick ride to 80, but a ride all the same. Admittedly, we've had an awful lot of downtime. Me faffing around in spec trees and taking screenshots and stuff. Well, this probably only feels like our second lap of the zone. These slabs of slate are we on now? Okay, so that's our last slab of slate, meaning we should be getting the rare version of this in a minute as well. Or the epic version of this for 3 knowledge points. I do like this mount though, you know. This delve mount is quite cool. Whoa, hang on there, elites. Let's calm down with that. I am only level 71 here. Let's not get too hasty. Oh, some quality 2 again. Oh, we've had some quality 2 Ratha's Spear as well. Not very frequently, though. Them alone. That's a speciality one, but we'll go for this crystallized bismuth instead. Yeah, very little is giving me skill points in any way, shape, or form now. Both herbalism and mining. Rich bismuth. Maybe a point. Take a maybe point. We're only 50 points in and still having only maybe points is not fun though. Oh, Iron Claws guaranteed skill points still. Come on, where's me epic mining knowledge point? That's what I really want. Who put a wall there? Auburneed, lush, microbloom, rich bismuth. Another deep grove roots. Okay. I think they've turned these up to 11. Because these have been easier to find. And like these ones have been easier to find than the flipping petals in the first place. Oh, the crystallized. I've overloaded on crystallized before. Now actually, in this first zone, only seems to be 2. I've found crystallized, and I've found... What have I found? I've only found 2 variations. Crystallized, and what's the other one I've found for herbs? Iridated. Crystallized and iridated are the only 2 that I've found for herbalism so far. Maybe there is some restrictions in different zones to what exactly you can get. It's not a complete free-for-all. Which I like, because it will spread people out. Unless one thing ends up being so valuable that everybody then farms in the same spot again. Loot first one. Irradiated, not... What did I say? I don't know what I said. Nobody listens to me for my pronunciations. Oh, I forgot this goes boom. Aha! What a landing. Lost moss wool. Web-wrapped axe. I vaguely remember these being normal treasures. Yeah. Lush. Hang on, that's in something. Where is that in? That's got to be in a cave or something. Anybody spot a cave? Oh, is that going to be this one down here? I tend to avoid caves at all cost when doing herbing and mining, but... Oh, shit! That's usually why. I'm more likely to stumble into problems. Sneaky, sneaky. Another deep grove roots. Okay. That's now 5 of those things. At this pace, I could spend a few hours on the beta and I could max out herbalism. World first maxed herbalist on the beta. That's definitely not going to happen. Although it's something to do whilst watching the football on the other screen, I suppose. More deep grove roots. I need my epic mining one, whatever that ends up being. Then maybe I can get 500 quick and easy mining knowledge points as well. Have a quick fly through here. I actually have a suspicion that there are some mining and herbing treasures in Dornogal somewhere. It's a strong suspicion.
And help eliminate the pests that burden them.
I would guess that by the trainers, but... What's this? Dornogal chisel. That sounds very mining treasury, doesn't it? That looks very mining treasury to me. That looks very mining treasury. One-time treasures. Dornogal chisel. Yes. Ooh, I need my TomTom add-on. RST for TomTom. Where are we at then? We are at 35. 35.92. On the big red rock. Chisel. Oh no, I've just realised all my screenshots are not going to have my name in it. They're going to have this stupid Rocks and Plants character's name in it. Oh well. No free branding for me. Wow, that's a really awkward position on the map. Three mining knowledge points. Wonder if there's regular mining treasures. Brain's going into overdrive now. Stick on track. Oh, let me fly around Dornogal because I reckon there's a herbalism knowledge point, herbalism treasure around here somewhere as well. I'll do a quick lap. If we find something, we find something. What's this? Dornogal gardening scythe. There we go. That looks a lot like a treasure, doesn't it? Herbalism. Dornogal gardening scythe. Yes. Uh, 61.29. Next to the big tree. My descriptions for these are not great, but what do? My dog's having a good time either way. Nice. Herbalism treasure in the bank. There is technically, I'm led to believe, there is still 2 more treasures. The Isle of Dawn somewhere. Maybe I should fly, do a bit of a flyby. I've been sticking to the outer edges. Maybe we should fly a little bit more. The regular spots, see if we can find something. Oh, another imperfect nullstone. We've yet to find an imperfect, what do you call it? Null lotus. That's the word I'm looking for. My brain stopped for a minute then. Overall, I'm starting to think that herbalism and mining is practically the same. It's hard to really tell much difference between Dragonflight and the War Within. All that said, though, still cool. Overload, run over the spiders. It overloaded and it didn't spawn any spiders. Okay, that feels weird. That's sad. That's sad, isn't it? What are these things? Webbed nodes. I kind of think it's meant to do that, honestly, because there's a node that in here somewhere has... where is it? Webbed. Overloading a webbed ore deposit now summons twice as many spiders, but it should at least smell, spawn some. Maybe it was because it's up on a thing and it spawned them down on the, I don't know. Either way, bug, squish the bugs. Let's try and go straight through the middle here, because that might give me a better chance of finding some of these treasures as well. Oh, crystallized iron claw. Yoink. Still haven't found the epic mining one, have we? No. Checking I haven't accidentally looted it in the bag somewhere. No. Oh, I knew I was going to pull aggro off you. Ooh, lush Aratha's spear. I'm quite sure we haven't found one of those yet. That's a new node. Is it bigger? Does it actually look... Is it got a different model? I think they all look like that, don't they? I don't think there's a different model. Maybe it's a bit spikier. If I can actually get to skill 100 without leaving the first zone, though, that will be very handy. Mostly because I don't think I'm going to enjoy herbing and mining in the other zones. Not that I plan on doing too much of this once the game goes live anyway. This is more honestly for the benefit of others than it is for me, but... Iridated Aratha's spear. It's a new one. New level we're gathering all the way. I mean, theoretically, it doesn't seem too problematic to do that. It's not exactly fast, but it doesn't really need to be, I don't think. I am still gaining experience every time I pick something up. Ancient flower, earthen miner's gavel. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's my epic one. Erosion polished slate. Mining. Weekly knowledge. Now I wonder if there's an equivalent of the deep rove routes, but for mining. This though sounds a lot like ancient flower. What's the odds ancient flower is a herbalism knowledge treasure? Gotta be, right? Ancient flower, yes. Isle of Dawn. 58. 61. In the flower pot. And it looks a lot like over here we have the earthen miner's gavel, which this is clearly a mining treasure, right? Earthen miner's gavel, yes. Where are we? 5862. Next to the big gravel. What's this thing called? Earthen miner's gavel. Also in Boulder Springs. Very handy. Especially if you're wombo comboing Herbalism and mining at the same time. Right, that's everything knowledge-wise from the Isle of Dawn, I believe. We've made some progress here. We've got Herbalism and mining both 60 plus pretty easily, pretty comfortably. We're at a point where Herbalism knowledge points seem to be predominantly coming from the, should we call them, specialized nodes. But, you know, a bit more effort will get us there. We have found all of our Deep Grove roses for this week. Interestingly, Deep Grove roots can still be found seemingly after you've found your Deep Grove rose and petals for the week. Whether this turns out to be something you can perma-farm, I suspect that the drop rate on these is probably a little high right now. It might be a beta thing, it might not be a beta thing, who knows? Could even just be a catch-up system, no clue. I've not progressed with mining far enough to have figured out if there's a mining equivalent just yet. As far as mining is concerned, there still isn't a good indication on what gives you guaranteed skill points, but it seems to be practically the same. The specialized ones, the specialized nodes are going to give you skill points. I'm just a little bit behind. But even 60 or so points in, our likelihood of getting quality 2 is basically none still. We're going to be getting quality 1 for quite some time, I think. We need... Yeah, what this doesn't do is it doesn't show you where the breakpoints are. This difficulty is only for you to get the top quality. So until we've got 120 skill, we're not even going to see a quality 3 ever. We've got 69 skill, apparently. 60 from here. I don't know where the other 9's coming from. 64 from somewhere. Oh, 60 plus 4 because of our pick. And then plus 5 from nothing more than unlocking this one node. We need to try and make sure we can get to skill 75 in both pretty quickly. Then we can at least unlock all 3 trees. But yeah, we're getting there. Started to figure stuff out a little bit more. Very Dragonflight-esque. If you've done any herbalism or mining in Dragonflight, it's going to feel very similar. I'm probably going to take a little bit of a break now. I'm going to go get myself some food. I can now move on to the next zone and see if anything different changes. The Isle of Dawn also seems to very heavily focus on your main materials. Bismuth, a little bit of iron claw ore, but not much. And in herb terms, Mycobloom, a little bit of Blessing Blossom, very little of anything else. We've had a small amount of Orbinids and Aratha Spears, but not really. No, it's Blessing Blossom primarily. So we'll continue with this maybe tomorrow. There's a new build coming this evening. Very late this evening for me probably. So we can have a little bit of a look at what the new build brings tomorrow. And decide if there's something worth looking at in detail tomorrow or whether we carry on testing some gathering. Thank you all for joining, boys and girls. Appreciate the company. Hope you're enjoying. As I mentioned, testing period is very methodical, very slow. But this is the way you have to, this is the way you find stuff out. Hit the follow button if you haven't already, the like button. Thank you very much for the follows, the bits, the subs, all of the good stuff. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll catch you next time. Peace. Looks like Zanzifal's online, by the way. I'll send you all over to Zanzifal. We'll go raid Zan. Say hi. He's probably doing some gold making related something or other. Right. Moving you over to Zan. Have a great day, boys and girls. Catch you next time. Peace.